Perhaps by now you've come to appreciate some of the benefits of chiropractic care. If all this is new to you, don't worry. We'll do a brief review. If after watching this tape you'd like some of this information in greater detail, particularly the X-ray portion, you might want to review the first video in this series, Understanding Your Chiropractic Reported Findings. Let this curve represent your spinal health lifeline. Most of us start out in life with fairly good spines and nervous systems, and then through accidents, illnesses, spinal weaknesses, or from a variety of other causes, but usually early in life, we begin to go through a period of declining spinal health, till we get down into this red square here. We call this your symptom square. This, not surprising, is when most adults seek chiropractic care because now they can feel that they've got a problem. By working with your spinal joints, improving function, your chiropractor is soon able to move you out of this symptom square to somewhere along in here. Now you've got some decisions to make. Discontinue chiropractic care at this point in time, and many patients find themselves returning to their chiropractor within a few years with similar symptoms. Sound familiar? I thought so. Let me tell you why. Continuing chiropractic care at this point in time allows these spinal joints time to strengthen and rehabilitate, usually as the result of a long-standing joint problem. Remember that the choice of chiropractic care is always left up to you. The first type of chiropractic care is called acute or symptom care. If this is the type of care that you've chosen, then you've just made our job simple, because once the pain is gone or minimized, you're done. Don't be surprised, however, if you see us in a few years. The second type of chiropractic care is called reconstructive care. The purpose behind reconstructive care is to get all your spinal joints as good as we can get them. You see, certain ligaments, muscles, tendons, and nerves need to be gently stretched, while others given time to shorten, to allow for optimal spinal function and to prevent reoccurrences. This, not surprising, is the most popular choice of patients for chiropractic care if given a choice. The third type of chiropractic care is called supportive care. This is the type of care given to support a reoccurring spinal failure. A good example of this might be a concrete worker with a chronic low back problem who requires ongoing chiropractic care to keep them functioning and on the job. Or a whiplash patient who's now sustained permanent injury to the soft tissue structures which support the spine. They're not coming here just for pain. They are coming because it's affecting their quality of life, what they enjoy doing. What have you given up because of this? For you, chiropractic may very well be the answer. The fourth type of chiropractic care is called maintenance care. As you may have guessed, the purpose behind maintenance care is to maintain these spinal joints and to prevent problems from ever occurring. The first three types of chiropractic care are often covered under health insurance plans to some degree. The fourth, maintenance care, is not. Can exercise alone cure these problems? Unfortunately, no. Even though exercise is important, we still see even very active people plagued with these types of problems, which is why so many professional sports teams now have chiropractors on staff. Now, if you've had chiropractic x-rays, hopefully you've remembered some things about your condition. If not, let's just touch on some of the highlights. You have 24 movable vertebrae like this in the spine. And with the exception of the top two, each has a unique cushion between them called a disc. Normal disc height varies in an individual between 1/4 to 1/2 inch high, depending upon its location in the body. Notice how the disc height helps maintain the size of the opening where your spinal nerve exits from. Lose your disc space and the size of the hole becomes severely compromised, and movement is practically non-existent. What's the big deal, you say? It's just a smaller hole, right? Wrong. We spend billions of dollars in the United States every year when this same thing occurs to the vessels of the heart, yet ignore the far-reaching effects that this condition has on your overall health. We can tell a lot about the state of your spinal joints by looking at your disc spaces. Take a normal disc height and divide it into 4 equal sections. Lose 25% of your disc space, and many chiropractors call that phase 1 of degeneration. Notice how these 2 discs here compare to a healthy disc. Now, lose 50% of your disc space, and we call this phase 2 of degeneration. Lose 75% of your disc space, and we call this phase 3. Now here's the interesting thing about phase 3. It may even cause less pain or symptoms than these first 2 phases, because the spinal nerve exiting at this level, telling you that you've got a problem, is no longer working properly. Lose all of your disc space, and we call that phase 4. By the time you get to phase 4 of degeneration, chiropractic sometimes has very little to offer you, because that means the cushion is gone, and this is serving as a constant source of irritation. And how healthy do you think the spinal nerve is at this level? Too many people are forced into changing some activity in their life because of this. Surgery sometimes is the only option, but understand this, it doesn't always have to be this way. You see, our spinal joints are dependent upon movement to lubricate themselves, just like the engine in this truck. I can see you asking yourself, well, how does this apply to me? Fair question. Without movement, oil can't circulate in this engine, which means things eventually break down. And the same thing happens with your spinal joints if you restrict their motion long enough. You might be surprised to know that the average adult seeking chiropractic care is already in phase 2 of degeneration, which means they've had a spinal joint problem for approximately 20 years before ever seeking help. Now, do you think it's a good idea to get your kids checked to detect early spinal problems? Yeah, we think so too. We also think it's time we as physicians did a better job at educating our patients about this condition. This wear, if allowed to progress, follows a predictable pathway described in this book by Lee Hadley, MD. He goes on to say this: preventing spinal degeneration alone is enough reason to justify chiropractic care beginning in early in life. But there's more, a lot more. Because your spinal nerves exit at the same area where this damage is occurring, it makes sense that you can have a problem anywhere along the course of this nerve, which is why so many chiropractic patients find other health conditions improving as a result of being treated for a spinal joint problem. As you have seen, the basis of joint health is movement. And this is where chiropractic really excels. Chiropractic helps maximize this movement, improving joint function, which slows down wear. It's a simple truth. Now that you know what chiropractic x-rays can tell us, you can see why your chiropractor wants to x-ray you periodically to see how these joints are doing. And with what you've just learned, you're able to better participate in the decision-making process, at least be able to tell your chiropractor what phase of degeneration you're in, or I haven't done a very good job. If you've already chosen the type of chiropractic care that you want, good for you. If you haven't, I might ask you to consider this. There's nothing more tragic, in my opinion, than seeing somebody go their entire life and now in their retirement not being able to do the things they've always wanted to do because of a spinal joint problem. Perhaps it's swinging a golf club, or getting down on the floor and playing with your grandkids. What price can you put on being able to plant a garden for another 10 or 15 years, or leading a more active, vibrant lifestyle? These are just some of the benefits we have seen in our office. Chiropractic still represents a true bargain in the field of healthcare today, with or without insurance coverage. And let me tell you why. For thousands of dollars less than a single joint replacement, your chiropractor works on all your spinal joints, and not just the worst one. The simple truth is that proper joint motion is the key to a more active life, and chiropractic care helps maximize that movement. Let's face it, our job is keeping you active and enjoying the things that you want to do. That's chiropractic's promise to you.